What's going on, you guys? This is episode 3, and as stated in the beginning of this series, this is meant to be 100% authentic and real. With that being said, been slacking a little bit as far as getting content and training has gone. This past weekend, I had the opportunity of working the cheerleading worlds in Orlando, Florida. And with that, we had some very long days, very early wake ups, and very late nights. And I didn't get all of my mileage in last week. Got up to 22 miles for the week, but was hoping to get closer to 30. But sometimes we got to work around things. But we're hitting the ground running again this week. Currently at 12 miles. Yesterday we had our workout, which was 2 mile warm up at 9:30, and then 2 by 1 mile at 7:35 to 7:40 pace. 2-minute jog in between. Finished off with 4 sets of 400-meter intervals at 6:50 to 7-minute pace. So that was sick. I won't lie, I haven't had a speed workout like that ever, and it was hard, but it was good. It was a good kind of baseline to understand where my fitness is at right now. Pushing those harder workouts and made it through. So happy about that. Excited to see what we can make happen the rest of this week and moving into next week. All right. So today we have 4 miles, easy pace. Really going to try to hone in on staying slow, staying comfortable, keep my heart rate low. For a lot of my easy runs, been drifting into like the 8:30, 9-minute territory, which is a bit fast for where I want to be for my easy runs. Throughout this process, I've been corresponding with ChatGPT after each week with my average heart rate, my average pace, just trying to see where my fitness is at. And they suggest that I slow down on my easy runs or else I'm going to burn out in a few months, which is a very real possibility. So I'm going to try to stay comfortable, stay controlled on today's run. Today we're rocking with Vomero 18 for these 4 miles. And here we are, post-run.
There's the receipt. Held a 9:23 pace.
Definitely slower and a lot better feeling than a lot of my easy runs have been as of lately. So we are learning to control.
So for breakfast today, post-run, we got 4 eggs, 2 slices of bread with butter, about a cup of Greek yogurt, and then some orange juice as well. Been aiming for around 300 to 400 grams of carbs each day. More so on the double training days, the lifting and running. But just as a baseline, trying to aim for between 300 and 400 grams each day of carbs, and then between 140 and 180 grams of protein each day for recovery purposes. As far as my diet went before starting marathon training, it was primarily protein. My carb intake and my protein intake were generally the same, but when you start increasing your training load and start endurance training, having your heart rate elevated for longer periods of time than traditional like weightlifting, your body needs carbs in order to keep going, or else you won't be able to keep going. I wouldn't say it's a learning curve, but just something my body and I are getting used to. But I will say, I enjoy pasta, I enjoy rice, I enjoy bread, and I love cereal, sugar, all of it. So it gives me an excuse to eat some of my favorite guilty pleasure foods more often. we are back in the apartment gym this time for some treadmill miles. We're gonna get 4 miles on the treadmill tonight. Just got home from a long shift at work. Gonna be honest, this week has not gone to plan whatsoever as far as training has gone, nutrition, any of it. But we're gonna knock out some miles, try to finish this week strong. Tomorrow we got a long run, Sunday, so we're gonna get after it, try to finish this week just above 30 miles for the week. All right, treadmill miles are done. That completes Saturday of this week. Not the prettiest, not the worst. Just taking it for what it is for now. And our work here is done for the first run of the day. We have made it to the final run of the week. Just got off or back home from work. Gonna be honest, my right ankle is not feeling the best, so gonna go for 2 or 3 miles depending on how it feels. Gonna try to keep the same pace as the run from earlier today, between that 9:10 and 9:30 pace. So we're gonna knock it out. And we are done with this week's mileage. So as expected, kind of only 2 miles happened tonight. Noticed throughout the day I was just feeling heavy on that right ankle, and it was just bothering me. So got to going about halfway through the second mile. Started feeling some pretty good amount of pain in the medial side of my foot, and do not by any means have any reason to try and push it to where I get injured or anything like that. So taking that as a sign and keeping it easy. 30 miles for the week, still some good progress. First 30-mile week in a long time. Last time we hit that mileage was during half marathon training, and that was right around when I started getting some IT band pain and had to drop my mileage drastically several weeks out from the half marathon. So lessons learned, drawing it up to a lack of planning and just poor time management this week. Learning from it, gonna make it better for this next week, and so on and so forth.
All right, so I want to take some time to recap over the last week of training. As I've said many times in this video, was not an ideal week of training. Pretty chaotic, bad time management, whatever you want to call it. Just did not go to plan. Going over some of the data, so this week had 6 days of running, total distance of 30 miles. It feels really good to know that I was able to accomplish that while also working around close to 60 hours this week, and just feeling like, I didn't get enough training in, when am I gonna get my run in, blah, 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 blah. But it happened, and that was something that last night I noticed, and it was kind of nice to have that clarification that things are going okay, even when they don't feel like they necessarily are. On the average pace throughout the whole week, I don't know if this data actually matters, but around 9:14 average pace for just the whole week and all my runs and stuff, adding it up and dividing it, all that good stuff. And average heart rate was 137 for this week. So kinda in a good spot, the numbers make sense to where my fitness is currently at. So not worried about that, just trusting it. Still got a lot of work to do though. And last week I only got 1 day of strength training in. I know, terrible.
I don't know the last time that's happened, but this week we're gonna lock in, have some more structure leading into this week. So that is all I got for this week as far as training goes. This next week will be a lot more structured. And thank you guys for sticking around for episode 3 of Chasing Sub 3, my journey towards a sub 3 hour marathon and my first ever marathon at the Panama City Beach on December 5th of this year. So got a long road ahead of us, but we're taking it one day at a time. I will see you guys in the next episode.